Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to the Göteborg area in Sweden, or Gothenburg as you would say in English, Götaland I believe they call the county. But for this one we are going to have a look at a collaboration beer. So this one is from West Coast Bryggeri and it's their collaboration with In Brewing, and it's a nice Imperial Stout brewed with coconut and cinnamon, so it should be really cool. And the reason this one was released was because In have just agreed a deal with West Coast Bryggeri to share the brewery. So this one is called Handshake and it comes in at 10%. It should be a really nice Imperial Stout. It was quite well rated. It was rated at 80 on Rate Beer with only a few reviews actually, so it should be a pretty damn nice one for us to have a look at. I did enjoy the last beer I did from West Coast Bryggeri, and of course In Brewing are very well known as being a very good beer producer here in Sweden. So I'm very interested to see how this one comes off, because of course when they're sharing the brewery you're going to start to see a lot of nice collaborations going on here. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the breweries involved here. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual websites are in the description below. That's the brewery websites for both of the breweries involved here. The links to my other reviews from both West Coast Bryggeri and from In Brewing, so do check those out. There's all the usual social media, and as always, if you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. And I will apologise in advance for any bad Swedish pronunciations in this video, but I hope it doesn't stop you guys enjoying the video, and please do get in touch and let me know some of the other Swedish beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. So anyway, to tell you about West Coast Bryggeri first. So as I mentioned, these guys are based in Gothenburg and they were founded back in spring 2014 by Englishman Dave Barrett, who apparently has been home brewing since he was back in university. But Dave apparently has worked in many different industries and he travelled a lot as well, but he decided that he wanted to found his own company in Sweden to be near to his family. And he's actually got quite a large brewery that's capable of producing over 4,000 litres of beer per day, and he uses a Chinese brew kit to do this. But since the brewery has such a large capacity, they've agreed to share this capacity with In Brewing, who are one of the kind of phantom or gypsy brewers of Sweden. They brew at quite a variety of different host institutions. Mainly they were brewing at Brewski before, but now they're going to brew most of their beer at West Coast Bryggeri, I should say. So to tell you a bit more about In Brewing, there's 8 people involved in this company, including 3 brewers. They were started in 2012 by Pelle Frost and they released their first beer in 2012. This one was a collaboration with Italian brewery Tocalmato, and they plan to have their own brewery in the future, but right now they're brewing at many other breweries. In the early years they travelled Europe making a lot of different collaboration beers with other breweries, but more recently they began brewing their beers in Sweden. They actually started brewing, as I mentioned, at Brewski in Helsingborg, and one of their brewers, Lucas, actually worked there full time brewing both the Brewski and In beers. But since Brewery are working at full capacity with their own stuff, West Coast Bryggeri have relocated to brew with West Coast Bryggeri, which is really quite cool. So now they're not so much phantom brewers, they do brew all of their own beers, albeit in different places. But the 3 brewers here are Lucas, Victor and Andreas, and they've always been into the really big fruity American style IPAs, although they do say that they enjoy Imperial Stouts. Victor and Andreas are the original guys, while Lucas was actually headhunted from another brewery and he's now their head brewer. But they do work as a team to create all of these beers, and I have to admit I was really impressed by the quality. I think it was the Baltic Porter that I reviewed from West Coast Bryggeri last time. I was very impressed with that, and I have been really impressed with the In beers that I've tried so far. They produce some really nice stuff, so I can only see this collaboration ending well. It should be a very exciting time for both of these breweries involved here. But yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this beer itself now. As I mentioned to you, this one is a 10% Imperial Stout, and it was brewed to celebrate the deal to share capacity between the 2 breweries here. Of course, all of the beers are brewed at West Coast Bryggeri's facility. This one contains hand-roasted coconut apparently, and also some cinnamon, and it comes in at 10%, so it should be pretty nice. On the back here it says West Coast Bryggeri, a Swedish-English family-owned craft brewery based in Gothenburg, making true to style and more unusual beers, but always of a high quality. In Brewing, Swedish brewers travelling the globe brewing beers with their friends until we have our own brewery. Now we're based at West Coast Bryggeri in Gothenburg. Handshake and Imperial Stout. A single handshake sealed the cooperation between West Coast Bryggeri and In Brewing. This immense beer with coconut and cinnamon, it celebrates that handshake. So yeah, it should be pretty good actually. So yeah, I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open it up, but I'm really interested to try this one. I actually, just a few days before I'm filming this review, I sent my Baltic Porter review to Dave at West Coast Bryggeri, and he seemed to quite enjoy it and told me that I should give this one a go. You can see there is the West Coast Bryggeri bottle cap on this one. There's the brewery symbol just on the neck there. I'm not sure how well you can see that with the light, but very nicely presented. It's quite a kind of modern and quite chic style of art on this one. It says best served between 14 and 16 degrees. This one's a little bit colder than that, right enough, but it will warm up a bit quickly. It says you should pair it with dark chocolate, tiramisu, ice cream and Thai curry too. So yeah, it should be quite nice. Best before the 15th of February. I'm not sure if that's 2016 or 2018. I'm guessing at 10% though, it will be 2018. Well, I suppose it's 2016 this year. I'm losing track of the years. I'm losing my marbles early, but let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting then. It should be awesome. So yeah, as you can see, a nice smoky opening on this one. I should have mentioned actually, this beer was one of the ones that I picked up from the small Portier range in Sisti and Beloga. Of course, as I've said many a time, our alcohol shops here in Sweden are nationalised, so you've only got a limited selection of things, although it's quite good for me as a beer taster because I can order beers from all over Sweden and have them delivered to my local store, so it's really quite cool in that regard. But for the breweries it doesn't work out so well, and of course when it comes to ordering beers it can be a bit of a pain because some of the breweries keep the stuff local and you can't bring it down to the south of Sweden. There's some great breweries from places like Vorberg and Växjö and things like that, but you can't actually bring the beers down here unfortunately. But it's a bit of an odd system, but it can be quite good at times and it does have its downsides as well. But as you can see, this beer has poured a really nice dark ebony rosewood colour. You wouldn't expect anything else from an Imperial Stout. A really dark tanny head on this one. It looks very, very nice. Some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there. You can see there's no transparency to this beer at all. If I put my fingers behind it, it looks absolutely beautiful. So yeah, even if I hold it up to the light there is a very, very slight tint, ruby tint to it, but other than that, it looks very, very nice. Looks really good. So let's give it a smell and see how we get on here. So initially it smells very sweet and very chocolatey. There's a little bit, you can smell that coconut underneath this one. It actually infuses really well. There's a little bit of a woody coconutty aroma in there. You can smell some other nut coming out as well. There's a little bit of brown sugar, but overall this one really does smell very sweet. It's very inviting actually. So we'll sugar it up and see if we can get anything else out of it. Oh yeah, you start to get a bit of a red fruity ester out of this beer once you sugar it up. It's really nice. There's a big kind of rye bread malt base to this one. You can smell the cinnamon mixing in with that actually. But it's very chocolatey. A good bit of brown sugar in there too, but it's quite sweet. Maybe there's a little bit of licorice in here too, but when you sugar it up you really do start to get the coconut comes out quite a bit, and you also start to get some of the nice sharper red fruity esters. This is a very nice smelling beer, but it's quite complex, so just take a little bit of time and appreciate that aroma that's in this one. It's really interesting. I think this is going to be a very good beer, but I wouldn't expect anything less from either of these breweries here. But yeah, that's nice. It's really the coconut that's very interesting in this one. Yeah, that smells really good. So just take a little bit of time and enjoy this one. The coconut flavours and aromas are really nice. There's a bit of a kind of vanilla character coming out as well. But yeah, just take a bit of time and smell this one for yourself. So let's get stuck into this beer then. This is the Handshake and Imperial Stout with hand-roasted coconut and cinnamon from West Coast Bryggeri and In Brewing, based in Gothenburg in Sweden. Skål! That's interesting actually. That's not like any Imperial Stout I've had before. But as I always say, just sugar it around your palate a little bit and just let your whole mouth adjust to this one. See, to be honest, that really reminds me. It makes me just think of like a beach cocktail. It's probably just the coconut flavours in it. But this is something to me that comes across as being something that you would drink in the summer while you're chilling on the beach. It really kind of is like that, even though it's a big, heavy, dark beer. That kind of coconut and vanilla flavour that this beer has, really, it really just reminds me of something like, it could be like a coconut white Russian with a bit of chocolate or something in it, but it's very nice. I do like that. The coconut is really interesting. I do really enjoy coconut flavours with cakes and things like that, so that's probably why I'm enjoying it in this beer. I think it's a really nice blend of flavour. Yeah, that is really good. If you like coconut, you'll definitely enjoy this beer. But yeah, the middle of the palate is blanketed with this nice kind of brown rye bready character. You can feel that just go right across the middle of the tongue. You can feel a little bit of the cinnamon kind of mixing in with that, and that's very nice as well. On top of that, you get these nice rich chocolatey flavours in there. It's got quite a milky chocolate and vanilla flavour to it, and you can get the coconut infusion around there too. This is really nicely done, actually. Yeah, that's a really interesting beer, I have to admit. It's one of the most kind of quirky Imperial Stouts I've come across. You will definitely enjoy this. It reminds me of Malibu a little bit, actually. That kind of liqueur, actually. My girlfriend, Michiko, she really enjoys that Malibu liqueur that you can get. And I have to admit it's quite nice as well, and you can taste some of that in this beer, actually. Underneath that as well, when the flavour starts to progress a bit more, you can pick up a little bit of black kind of roasted malty character as well, and that's a really nice kind of quirky part of the beer too. Around the edges of the palate, it's very smooth and very earthy. There's not much more from the hoppy side of things. Behind the front curve of the tongue, there's also a little oily bubble where you get some of these red fruity esters that are typical of this style. Yeah, and I would say it's actually got a bit of sharpness to it, maybe plums or raisins coming out of this one, but there is a bit of red fruity ester just behind that front part of the tongue. There's a bit of brown toasted sugar in this one, but it's actually really quite boozy, and that's probably where that flavour's coming from. It's always usually caramel malt and things that covers up some of the boozy flavours, but you can feel the alcohol warmth in this. But the main point, it's a very nice beer. If you enjoy coconut flavours and you enjoy kind of nice sweet bready character, chocolate and things like that, you're definitely going to enjoy this beer. It's quite a quirky one, actually. It was rated 80, I think, on Rate Beer, but it was only 20 within the style, and I can see why, maybe because it is very quirky. But I think 20, to be rated only 20 out of 100 for an Imperial Stout, I think that's pretty bad, actually, because it doesn't reflect the beer at all. The beer is very good, and as I say, Rate Beer can be a good guide, but there are the odd times, like in this case, where I think it's a bit off the mark. But this is a really good beer. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I would say it's quite full-bodied. The carbonation is really smooth. There's only a little bit of an attack to it. It's quite oily and syrupy, so just be prepared for that. There's a good balance in this beer between the slight roasted bitter character that you would expect from the malts, and also the sweeter aspects of the malt base too. And the hops are very smooth, and there's also some juicy character from these fruity esters that I was talking about as well. So overall, it is a very nice beer. You're certainly not going to be disappointed with this one. If you enjoy an Imperial Stout and you like coconut and you like rye bread and cinnamon and things like that, you will definitely not be disappointed by this beer. And it's another great one, both from In Brewing and from West Coast Bryggeri. So I think my next stage has to be to try one of the IPAs or something from West Coast Bryggeri, because I've tried 2 dark beers from them now. So I think the next one has to be one of their lighter beers. So we'll see how we got on with that. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. Thank you for watching. If you have tried the beer yourself, do let me know in the comment section below your own thoughts on this one. I think this is a limited edition, so I'm not sure how many of you will actually be able to try it, but I hope you enjoyed the review nonetheless. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Go and check out my social media things. But most importantly, go and try some of the In Brewing beer and some of the West Coast Bryggeri stuff. There's some really exciting things going on there now, and there's some really exciting beer in Sweden. So make sure you try some Swedish craft beers, and I will catch you soon with my next beer review. Slanja just now, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.